Hello and welcome to Can't Smash, your one-stop shop for all things PlayStation. So, in case you haven't noticed by now, this video will contain big time spoilers for The Last of Us Part 2, so if you haven't completed the game yet, subscribe so you don't forget about me and come revisit this video once you finish the game. Trust me, you will not regret it. Right, let's talk about the ending. Wow, this made for happy viewing, didn't it? Unfortunately not. So, to sum up, Ellie finds Abby and Lev held hostage and sets them free. When it comes to it though, Ellie decides she has to fight Abby to the death, because she's still haunted by that memory of Joel and she simply cannot let it go. Seeing both Ellie and Abby at the end of the game, you really can see the toll that this has taken on them, as they're both shadows of their former selves, and their individual vendettas have led them to this point one way or another. After a grueling and epic final fight, Abby manages to bite 2 of Ellie's fingers off before Ellie takes the upper hand and begins to drown Abby. Just before she can kill her though, Abby has a flashback of Joel and realizes that if she continues with her actions, the circle of violence will reignite and their lives will forever be filled without peace. She then lets Abby up and spares her life so she can get away and save Lev. Ellie then returns back to her farm, where she finds that Dina and JJ have actually moved out. I mean, she really can't catch a break, can she? While searching through the abandoned house, she comes across her guitar upstairs, the one that Joel had gifted her at the start of the game, and she begins to try and play that song that Joel had taught her. As she tries to play, we see that she can't actually do it though, because of her now deformed hand, thanks to Abby biting her fingers off. For me, this was one of the most heartbreaking scenes of the entire game, as we now see that Ellie has not only lost her family in the form of Dina and JJ, but she's also lost her ability to keep that connection with Joel alive. This connection was something that throughout the game she revisited numerous times, and it's to emphasize how much she treasures her guitar for that reason. We then get a flashback to show that Ellie and Joel actually had agreed and tried to move past the Fireflies incident and move forward to build their bond. As a player at home, I was screaming at the TV for them to hug or at least tell one another that they love each other. All because I knew the next time they would meet would be with Joel on the floor about to die at the hands of Abby. Expert story writing there, truly bringing the emotions out of the player. The final scene ends with Ellie leaving a guitar at the window and then leaving the house to embark on a new journey. So I hear you all ask, what does this mean? So, let's look at it this way. Ellie loses so much throughout the entire game. She loses Joel, her sense of morality, her friend Jessie, her relationship with Tommy, and most importantly her family in the form of Dina and JJ. Wow, Ellie's really been through a lot. In this finale, we realise that actually the revenge mission she's put herself through is really not worth losing everything that she has done, and Ellie realises this as she's fighting Abby. This is why she lets her live. Maybe she was thinking that Lev would grow up to hate Ellie and come back for revenge against her, just like Abby had done with Joel. On top of that, her family has left her and her connection with Joel is literally severed through the loss of her fingers. So what more is there to gain? Now that Ellie sees that bigger picture, we understand that Ellie actually feels a closure from Joel's untimely demise and feels she can actually move on with her life. This is signified by her leaving the guitar at the window as she begins a slow walk on her new journey, likely to find Dina and JJ, or even possibly to move back to Jackson to be with Tommy. Maybe Ellie even thinks that she should try and find the Fireflies again. Maybe there's some more, right? And sacrifice herself for the greater good and finally have a vaccine created. Selfishly though, and because I really relate to Joel and still feel like her father figure as the player, I'd like to think that she finds Dina and JJ and lives happily ever after. But this is obviously left to the player to decide. On the flip side, the last time we play as Abby, she had just found out there is in fact a Fireflies base and was about to head to Catalina Island to finally regroup with them. This was then derailed as she was captured by the Rattlers and held prisoner. She undoubtedly had gone through unspeakable torture as we find her a shadow of her former self, skinny, hungry, and with her hair cut. At this point, her only concern is the safety of Lev, and when Ellie lets her down, much like Joel, she realises that she must save Lev at all costs, even if this means she has to fight Ellie, not for herself, but in an attempt to save Lev's life. After their intense battle, Ellie spares her and she escapes with Lev. Now, none of us know what happens until we see the new homepage. The new homepage has an image of a sailboat on a sandy beach. What does this mean, you may ask? Well, one of the directors actually said that this was the boat that Abby and Lev used, and they've actually made it to Kathleen Island. So we do actually get an indication that they did make it, and let's hope that they actually got the happy ending that they wanted. Maybe not deserved, but a happy ending that they wanted, and they did make it to the Fireflies and were able to continue as they sort out. Does this mean there could be a part 3? Well, yes, there could be. Part 3 could be a new journey. It could be the new journey of Lev and Abby as they continue with the Fireflies and come against new threats around the world. Or it could even be the search for a new cure again. So Ellie may find out there's actually a surgeon who can produce a cure, and as she said in her flashback at the end, she wished she died in the hospital because it would have given her life some meaning. Given that we now know Ellie doesn't really have much family left, i.e. she left Jackson, she's left Tommy, and she doesn't really know where Dina and JJ are. There's a strong possibility that Ellie may think the only way for her to bring meaning to her life is by doing something great for humanity and giving the ultimate sacrifice. Overall, it's a somber finish to an excellent game, but I think it's an excellent way to end this game. The reason for this is because it projects the true, harsh reality of the world that The Last of Us is all about. That's me done for today. Let me know what you think down in the comments. If you like the video, do hit the like button, and if you really like the video, do hit the subscribe button as we are on the way to 100 subs. I'm out of here for now. See ya!